Welcome to the shop of Joe Petto. Here, you'll find the most amazing gadgets on Earth. Each toy is unique.
What a terrible accident. Sarah, you think this is an accident? Look.
Each specially designed by the craftsman himself.
Buck, where did all these toys come from? What?
Sarah, what do you know about that old guy from the toy store? I wonder if I told you he was arrested for maiming some kids several years ago.
What reason could he have to hurt innocent children?
Welcome to Freaky Fandoms. I am Andrew, and with me, as always, is Deborah, and it is the 7th day of our 12 days of Christmas.
7 swans a swimming.
Yep, we're landing on thick today, folks, because we just watched a film that we've been eager to highlight, I guess. That's kind of become a bit of a cult favorite in the house, along with the rest of the films that we've been discussing. But this one actually ties directly back to our very first film of these 12 Days of Christmas movies.
Does it really, though?
No, only in name. Because clearly this was a movie that the script was written and then they were able to get greenlit because someone had the license for the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. So they just put it in the fucking name only and made the movie.
It's Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, people, the toy maker.
Yes, starring Mickey Rooney.
Fucking Mickey Rooney.
This movie's fucking ridiculous, folks. It's made by the same team that brought us Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and Society and fucking Bride of Reanimator.
Which is mentioned in the movie.
Yeah, directly. So this is a big Brian Yuzna production. The same gent who worked with Stuart Gordon.
And then Screamin' Mad George.
That's right.
Yeah.
Screamin' Mad George effects, which means you're going to get some
quality.
Yeah, very quality, bizarre shit. Because that is the mark of that amazing madman effects master. So let's talk about this fucking movie.
So it's Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
This movie's about a little kid who one Christmas gets a package that says don't open till Christmas, and his dad opens it. And the dad gets killed by a demonic toy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is totally a killer toy movie. 100%.
Next year, dad's dead. Kid's a mute, doesn't talk anymore. And it's happening again. Yes. Killer toys are being delivered to the house, and he's skeptical over everything.
I kind of like killer toy movies. Some of them are really fun. Full Moon has done a great job with a couple of them, like the first Demonic Toys and Dollman versus Demonic Toys, and of course...
And Dollman versus Puppet Master?
No,
Demonic Toys versus Puppet Master.
That's right. That was the special Puppet Master movie that we watched. That's technically one of the Puppet Master sequels, but it's out of the timeline and stars fucking goddamn Corey.
It's so bad.
Corey Feldman. Yeah, it's terrible. This movie, for a Demonic Toys movie, for a Killer Toys movie, it's got some pretty good ones. There's a big scene where Mickey Rooney dressed as Santa, or we're supposed to think it's Mickey Rooney, dumps a bag of toys into the main kid's room while the babysitter is having sex with her boyfriend. And there's a pretty cool variety in there.
Yeah, there's like an alligator that chomps at the bits, quite literally. There's like this post-apocalyptic metal race car thing that has these little cutter wheels.
It's like a fucking Mad Max car meets BattleBots.
Yeah.
It's fun.
There's a Superman toy that flies around and can explode and do power punches.
There's the fucking crawling hand that has a butt fetish, which is fucking gross.
That hand was groping both of them.
Yeah, a little bit it was getting in there. This movie has some ugly fucking sex scenes in it too. Big time. And it ties to our previous night where we just talked about a great classic, Christmas Evil, where the kid, first thing around Christmas time is he walks in on his parents banging.
Yeah. And he walks in on his babysitter banging. It's one of those ones.
Yeah, this kid can't stop walking in on people having sex.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's that time of the year for this kid. This movie is just absolutely ridiculous, and it's a lot of fun.
Can I please
What do you want to talk about?
What Mickey Rooney's character's name is?
Oh, please do.
So Mickey Rooney is a toy maker who owns his own privately run toy shop, and his name is Joe.
Yep.
Joe Petto.
Is that a play on words?
Uh-huh.
Is that some kind of
and
Joey Petto?
And his son is Pino.
Yeah. Just Pino.
Just Pino.
Yeah, he's one of those
if you put it together, it would be Pino Petto.
That's fucking disgusting, Deborah. And the way that some people say Mickey Rooney's character's name in this movie
sounds like
definitely
pedo.
Does go pretty wrong.
And it's really uncomfortable anyway.
But this movie, clearly, it was written to be a fucked up Automata meets Pinocchio horror story.
Yeah.
And the whole like Christmas time thing can be completely taken out of the film and it still be the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Although there is a pretty big part that features one of our favorite Christmas treasures, Clint Howard, who comes in because there's this
He's
big...
not a fucking Christmas treasure. Take it back.
He's fucking gold. It's the best. Everybody who knows Clint Howard just for the Ron Howard movies, like him showing up and fucking...
The Grinch.
Yeah, and like Apollo 13 and shit like that. I mean, that's fine. But when you dig into like Clint Howard's genre filmography, that shit is gold. Like, you got this... You got Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, which he's like a superhuman bum.
You got the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, you got the Ice Cream Man. You got fucking Ticks, which is amazing. I'm infested! It's so good. This guy's awesome. And he's just like showing up in shit like Key and Peele and the fucking great sketch of theirs. But moving past the Clint Howard fandom... There is a big sitting on Santa's lap sequence in this movie where they make a joke that's kind of similar to Elves a little bit. Where the main guy who's trying to figure out what's going on with this whole toy store walks into the back room and says, a couple of kids just pissed on me again. And overall, this movie, it's got a weird tone and it's got some like actual... unsettling horror moments, but more than anything with the comedy, it's also got some really gross pervy stuff.
A little bit, like when he calls her California Judy.
It's Clint Howard again.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Pino stuff.
Well, let's get back to the Christmas Santa Claus, because you went on a huge Clint Howard thing and totally missed your point.
My point was exactly that this movie does kind of lean on its Christmas premise a little bit, but it could have also maybe been like a birthday movie or something like that.
There was also kind of like a nod, two nods in this movie. First one is during that scene with the mall Santa, where this little girl, she's like, I want clothes, 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 and more clothes. And if you can't get that, I want a 10-speed bike, a VCR, and a tape of Bride Reanimator. It's like, really?
Yep.
Another one is you can miss this. It's the very first scene, and they're showing the house at Christmas. And there's this little tiny Santa Claus that's maybe about a foot tall, that rings a little jingle bell. It is the same one that is in Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 outside of Mother Superior's house when he's on the way there and there's kids running and then they see him and run away and it gets knocked over.
Seriously.
It's the same one.
It makes me think of like the Ashtray and Creep show.
Right?
Yeah, where is that thing in every single one of these fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night movies?
We're going to have to watch them again.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah, all of them in a row. It's going to be great. That's going to be the best Christmas Eve.
I'm not going to... No!
We're going to shelve everything else and watch all the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. And what's interesting too is that they are getting a lot more coverage this year.
Yeah.
It seems like
it's because of the Scream Factory Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
For sure.
Once that dropped, people are just now starting to discover all the other ones as well, and now they're getting their fan bases. Like, I can't remember where we saw it. I think it was on Instagram or Twitter, but someone had posted that they were watching this one, and we're like, oh god.
Oh, it's not just a couple of people. Like, there are a lot of people in the hardcore, like, deep horror community who are discussing these films right now. And I remember it was like 3 or 4 years ago when you came and stayed with me while I was working in Korea. And I had gotten a holiday package from Fangoria with, you know, a bunch of stuff that they'd had laying around in the warehouse. And the copy from Anchor Bay of Silent Night 1 and Silent Night 2 were in there. And so, you know, they were just giving that shit away. But now it's almost like a coveted series. So the fandom and the cult, you know, film fans are coming together for these. And also, Silent Night 3, 4, and 5 are all streaming on Amazon through Starz subscriptions. So who knows who the fuck got the transfers and rights to those to be able to put them out, but they're actually available to watch now.
Which is a good thing, because you should watch them, even though they are terrible.
And very fucked up. But let's talk about the toys in this movie. Because that's
Are we going to talk about those badass roller skates?
I want to talk about those fucking roller skates. I want to talk about Larry the Larva. Yes. So let's begin with the Santa Ball.
The Santa Ball. So the Santa Ball is the first one that kills the kid's dad at the very beginning. And
doesn't really kill him, though.
Yes, it does.
Just kind of gives him a hug.
So, this little ball, it's red, has a white stripe and a couple white holes.
Yeah.
And it starts rotating part of it, and you can hear jingle bells playing. You see a Santa head pop up, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then the head starts rotating, and then it turns to the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And it's an evil Santa face, and its arms and legs project out, and they're like friggin' 10 feet long, and can wrap around your head and smother you. He does kill him, because while he's in the middle of biting his nose and smothering him, he falls over onto a fire pit and gets it thrown through his face.
And also, one of the arms goes around his neck and is strangling him. But yeah, he does try to hit the toy off of his face with a fire poker, but fails, falls over, and the poker goes right through his fucking eye.
Yeah.
And that's when the mom comes down and freaks out that the kid's dad, or is it really his dad?
Oh, shut
is
up.
now dead. Yeah, there are a few things going on in this movie, because as soon as that happens, someone in a random van comes into town with the newspaper clip in hand and starts playing detective.
Yeah. And he's skeevy and he can't pay for shit, so he just buys toys and stays in a hotel and can't pay for it, so he decides to give the owner of the hotel a Larry the Larvae.
Which I love.
I want that fucking toy.
Yep. So this toy winds up in this guy's hands because Pino, the son of Pedo, brings it up.
Joe.
Yeah, Joey Pedo.
Don't! Joey Pedo!
That would have been such a great little run in this movie if they'd thrown some ridiculous shit in there.
Nope.
But that aside, the Larry the Larva toy really reminds me of like some of those cool centipede automated creatures that we saw at Copro at the Dystopia show.
Yeah.
Just like these unsettling little insect monsters.
Here's the thing.
Talk about it.
It's this long centipede looking thing
Yeah.
with goofy ass fucking eyes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's brown and it looks slimy and it looks gross. Why the fuck is it in a pretty pink dolly box?
Yeah, that's true. Because it's like this weird brown. It's got like teeth pinchers and it looks like a fucking, insect toy. But it is in a very Barbie-like box. Yeah, so Pino pulls it up and gives it to the kid. The kid doesn't want it. The skeevy guy takes it, gives it to the owner of the hotel, and then the owner of the hotel is driving home and has a Kingdom of the Spiders moment. The fucking thing gets out of the box. He's fucking around with the little controller for it.
He's playing with it. He's like, oh, look at this thing.
Damn thing won't turn off. It's fucking broke.
Like, at first he's having fun. He's like, it's broke. It won't turn off. And then it, like, electrocutes him or something.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, like...
It jumps into his mouth and starts going down his throat while electrocuting him. Sorry.
Yeah, it sucks out his eyeballs, and then it pops out of his right eye socket. So you see the Larry the Larva head with the pinchers go bloop. That used to be the picture on the back of the VHS cover for this thing, and I would always see that, and I'd be like, fuck, I want to watch this, but it looks creepy as hell. And now watching it as an adult, my God, this movie's ridiculous.
This movie's still creepy as hell, but for much different reasons.
So we've already talked about the toys that kill the babysitter and her boyfriend. Let's get to the big shebang of the movie, which is the fucking roller skates, before we start talking about what's really going on with Pino.
So Derek is the kid's name.
Yeah,
he gets another box that says, don't open till Christmas. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. So he tries to throw it out the window, but can't. So he just goes outside and throws it away.
He can't do a lot of things.
He can't do a lot. He can look like he's dead.
That is true. He can look like he's dead while he's listening to his cassette player way too loud.
Well, one of his friends, his mom's friend's son, gets a hold of it, and it's a pair of roller skates. He's roller skating around, and then he's
rollerblades. Let's be clear. These are like badass 90s rollerblades.
If you want to talk about it, go ahead. I mean...
Continue.
So he's skating around, doing all this, looking like a 90s kid, 90s punk. And he's picking on, like, these fucking teenagers that are much older than him by, like, 20 years.
30-year-old teens.
And he stops and flips them off, and then all of a sudden the skates, like, spark up and just go fucking AWOL and take him on a ride.
Yeah.
That almost kills him.
Yeah, but the effect is done really poorly, and you can tell that
like
he's just
sparklers, and he's just like doing little tricks on skates.
It's like he does the fucking 360 that everyone did in the roller rink that looked like shit.
Yep.
And then the fucking sparklers
backwards.
Reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets hit by a car.
And he winds up in the hospital completely bandaged up like a fucking, mummy burn patient. It's terrible.
Like, I thought that I remember that scene happening in the day.
Yeah.
But it happens at night.
Right. Well,
and I was very confused.
Well, I think that's the difference between watching it a year ago inebriated and then watching it now stone cold clear to really get the full effect of the film. Because, that's what this movie is. You want to watch it with the utmost attention and focus to be able to embrace
Side note,
it as a whole.
How am I going to get through the next movie sober?
Oh, God. So we do have a good one hitting tomorrow, folks. We'll see.
Anyway, we're going to talk about Pino now. It's your turn.
Okay. Let me lay this out. This is the Pinocchio plot. Courtesy of Brian Yuzna and fucking Screaming Mad George. And one of Brian Yuzna's buddies who directed. So we've got I don't know, probably early 20s.
Yeah, about 20, 24,
punk.
25, yeah.
Yeah, and this is set in the late 80s, maybe 90, 91, something like that. This kid is the son of the disgraced toy maker, Joe Petto, played by Mickey Rooney. Amazingly, by the way, he keeps Jack Daniels in his file cabinet.
And is constantly drinking it, and it doesn't even faze him.
Yeah, he's doing like full half classes at 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, it's wonderful.
They were just filming him.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
It wasn't scripted. They were just using tape.
So Pino likes having confrontations with people. He likes booby-trapping toys and turning them into killer toys. And he likes breaking into the main character's house because they used to live there.
Yeah. And he also has a huge Oedipus complex.
Oh, a major Oedipus complex because the story is that Mickey Rooney got into a car wreck, his wife died, or something along those lines, and she died while she was pregnant. So he decided to make a Pinocchio son who became evil. and wanted to have sex with anyone that he could call mommy. Yeah. So he breaks into the main character's house. The kid Derek and his mom. He starts laying around in their beds, sniffing the mom's underwear, doing all this horribly inappropriate, awful shit. And then he bursts out of the house when they come home. Later we find out he is a robot. He is a Pinocchio. And he has been built by Mickey Rooney, and he has killed Mickey Rooney and been running around wearing a Mickey Rooney in a Santa Claus costume. And we get this huge conflict in the sub-basement cellar of the toy shop.
We're not going to say what he's doing because of sensitivity.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I am going to say, I love you, Mommy. I want you, Mommy. And just leave it.
Yeah. So the guy who's been running around with the newspaper clipping, the skeevy guy who's been trying to figure out this whole thing, he winds up partially saving the day. We have this great magic moment where Derek is finally able to talk again.
Oh, yeah.
And the film just decides to end. But it ends with a wonderful potential lead into a Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 5, Part 2, if they ever wanted to bring this back.
Why would anyone want to bring this back?
Because
this was such a 90s thing. This would not happen. This would not work in the 2000s. It was such a... It's dated as fuck.
It could be a period piece.
They don't make the... Well, yeah, they do, but they also... Like, all period pieces are modernized now, so it wouldn't work.
The 90s are big. You know, everyone's into Nerf and, like, Nash skateboards and, like, rollerblades.
Did you not just hear what I said?
Wearing green neon hats backwards. I'm just going down the list. So this movie, it's dated as shit, but it's a lot of dumb fun, I think.
No, it's a lot of fun. I want a Larry the Larvae.
Yeah, the Larry the Larva. If anybody out there who makes those kinds of figures wants to commission one of those, we would eat that shit up because it's so fucking good. I think this movie is definitely for the trash cinema crowd.
Only for trash cinema crowd. Don't watch this unless you're trash cinema or you just want to watch a B movie.
Yeah, or you just want to watch Mickey Rooney be fucked up an entire film and have an argument with
pretty good.
Yeah, some ridiculous kid who's like, "You're just drunk," and he's like, "You're gonna have to come up from out of there sometime," while the kid's locking himself in the cellar.
Drunk Mickey Rooney.
It's pretty glorious, especially in the beginning when we're introduced to him, when the main character is going to the toy store and he's just like, "Hey, I'm just gonna show you all the toys. How you doing, Derek?"
He's like fucking touching his face and shit. It's like, kid, don't poke my son.
Stop touching that kid, Mickey Rooney, on the face and all over and grabbing the shoulders and being like, just it's very, very goblin-esque. And uncomfortable. Because
he was goblin-esque and uncomfortable.
That's true. That's true. God rest him.
So I think we've kind of exhausted this. I don't want to we gave everything away.
I feel like we gave a lot away, but there's still a lot of fun stuff that people can watch in this and get out of it.
So I say we do shout outs. That way we can leave you guys hanging and you're going to watch it because it is free to watch on Amazon.
Yep, with that Starz subscription or the Starz free trial, either way. But yeah, let's get into the shout outs. I think we really need to give a big shout out today to the new episode of the Dark Art Society podcast featuring one of our great friends, Shane Isakowski, who is featured on this week's episode. Everybody check that out. It's a super cool interview between Chet Zar and Shane, and we can't recommend it enough. Everybody go and keep tabs on American McGee's stuff. What do you think about what's going on with Alice, Deborah? Because the tarot card deck stuff is coming out.
Yeah, the tarot card deck stuff is coming out, and it looks great. They are incorporating all the characters beautifully with everything. I like a lot of the stuff that they're doing with the big bad guy stuff. It's really imaginative, and it works for what the game is supposed to be and what the story is. It really helps kind of bring everything all together. So yeah, check out American McGee and Martin with Alice Asylum. Also, go check out Josh Clark and April Dickerson. They do amazing dark art.
Yep.
So give them a look-see.
And a little birthday shout out to Dos Diablos, who is one of the coolest dark artist folks in the scene, making some unbelievable, I think people have been calling it embryonic style art out of Mexico. The man's a badass. And Carlito Brigante out of Colombia as well.
And happy late birthday to American McGee.
Indeed, yes. And may his Thailand travels for this holiday season be fruitful, and hopefully we'll find out some news about whether or not EA is going to greenlight a team of folks who can develop the new game out there around that area.
It would be great.
We'll see. Everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of Freaky Fandoms. We're glad that we could talk to you today about Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Merry Christmas, and
we're Freaky Fandoms.
We are Freaky Fandoms. Bye!
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!